I built $1 million brands on the back of SMS marketing, and it's truly been a life changer for me and my brands. Done right, SMS marketing can be one of the most profitable channels in your entire marketing arsenal. Listen, instead of wasting years on trial and error, I'm literally going to be handing you a decade's worth of hard-earned experience in just one video. So you can skip straight to the good part. If you're running a Shopify brand and you're not using SMS marketing, you're leaving way too much money on the table. I've helped some of your favorite brands generate over $30 million in email and SMS revenue using these exact same strategies that I'm about to show you in this video. These are the same secrets that big brands guard with their lives. Before we dive into how, let me quickly show you some mind-blowing stats and prove why SMS marketing is hands down one of the most powerful channels that you can leverage for your brand. Let's get it. All right, y'all, let's go over the roadmap to success for SMS marketing. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to set up and run an SMS campaign and begin to start making money with SMS marketing. So here's what we'll be covering: how to set up SMS marketing the right way. We'll be going over the must-have foundation so you don't waste any time or money, which platforms to choose, and I'll tell you why I chose a specific platform for this video, how to build a massive SMS list pretty fast, because without a list, nothing else really matters. The exact automations you need so that you can make money while you're sleeping. We'll go over copywriting that actually converts, so turning your words into money. And then last but not least, we'll do best practices and mistakes to avoid, so you don't have to worry about making the same mistakes that many brands waste thousands of dollars on. Listen, y'all, I'm super excited for this one, so let's not waste any more time. Let's take a look at these phone usage stats. The average person spends 6.5 hours on their phone daily. We check our phones 344 times per day. That's nearly every 4 minutes. 85% of our time is spent in text messages and apps. Marketing has always been about reaching people where they spend their time. It used to be newspapers, then radio, then TV, and now it's on their phones. So the question is, should you focus more on SMS or email marketing? Let's break it down and see which one deserves the most attention. So let's see how each channel stacks up when it comes to engagement and results. So text messages have nearly a 98% open rate, meaning almost everybody you send it to is at least reading the text message. While email, you'll only get around 20 to 30% on average of people to open up your email. So that's a huge significant difference just between email and text versus social media, where only 1 to 2% of your followers might actually see your posts. Here's where it gets great too. So the response time is 90% of people are actually reading the text message within 3 minutes of you sending out the campaign. So now that you know these stats, SMS clearly delivers a better engagement and higher conversion rate. And now the real question you might be asking is, do I even need email marketing? So before you go all in on texting by itself, the real key takeaway is to combine SMS and email together. Think of it like this. SMS is like instant attention and quick action. So flash sales, order updates, reminders, things of that nature. And then email is more about deeper storytelling, long-term relationships. So there you could provide a lot of educational content, value, promotions, and brand building. So by combining both, you get best of both worlds: high engagement and lasting customer relationships. So think of it like this. SMS is instant attention and quick action. So it's perfect for flash sales, order updates, reminders, while email is best for deeper storytelling, long-term relationship, educational content, promotions, providing value, and brand building. So the best practice is to use both. You get the best of both worlds. So high engagement and lasting customer connection. I know this all sounds great, but let's get into what really matters as business owners, and that's the cost. So the next section, I'll break down the cost for using SMS marketing. So now that you understand the power of SMS marketing, let's talk real numbers and how much does it actually cost. So SMS marketing costs typically fall into 3 main categories. One being message costs. So this is per message sent. These vary based on the message type that you send. Regular text can cost anywhere from 1 cent to 3 cents per message. I've worked with brands where we've gotten the cost lower than that, but this is a very standard number to work off of. So this includes text only messages, meaning no images and no emojis. Then you have picture messages, also known as MMS messages. And these can vary too as well, anywhere from 3 cents to 5 cents per message. Like I said, different platforms are going to charge you different prices, but these picture messages include images, GIFs, and even emojis, right? So this is great for branding, but it's slightly more expensive. Then you have international message, right? So if you have a brand that's worldwide, the cost is going to vary per country. So just depending on where your messages are being sent, these are typically higher than the messages of the people that you send to here in the United States. Then we have our carrier fees. So these are going to be additional costs set by mobile carriers such as like Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, and so on. Some platforms are going to charge you extra fees for delivering these messages. It just depends, right? So sometimes they charge you extra for the fee, or sometimes they just pass over the carrier fee. All right. Then you have subscriber storage, right? So this varies by platform and your list size. Most of the times you'll find this in email marketing only, and I typically never get charged for this, but it really just varies on the platform that you choose. So this can cost anywhere from like $10 to $20 per 1,000 subscribers per month. Like I said, not all platforms charge for this, but just do a little bit of research on your end. And next we have platform fees. So this also depends on the platform and the providers and the features. So many SMS marketing platforms do have monthly fees, but like I said, this does vary. So a basic plan can start anywhere from $20 a month to $50 a month. Higher tier plans are scaled up based on the features and message and how many messages you send out. Some platforms actually do waive the platform fees, and this just depends on a couple factors like contract commitments, how many messages you're sending out, and bundling it with other services. So the question is, how do you manage SMS costs effectively? So while SMS offers higher engagement, understanding these costs definitely is going to ensure you how to maximize your return on investment. The key is balancing SMS and email marketing. For example, using SMS for like high impact messages and email for more long form content. And this is going to keep it cost effective and powerful at the same time. I want to quickly show you an SMS campaign example and the costs as well as the revenue and the return on investment. So let's go ahead, get into it and use real numbers. Now, let's say you have 10,000 subscribers on your SMS list. If we're just sending out one regular text message, right? So text only, no emojis, within the 160 character count and no images, let's say your cost is 1.5 cents. So your campaign cost is going to be $150 to send, right? Now, let's say on average, you get 6% click-through rate. Out of these 10,000 subscribers, 98% of those read them. So 9,800 people read the text message. 6% of those clicked the link, right? So that's nearly 600 clicks. Now, let's say they get on the website and let's say you get a 3% conversion rate. So these numbers are going to vary based off of what you're selling, what you're offering, what new products you have, and your copy, right? But I'm giving you very great numbers to work with. So with a 3% conversion rate, you're able to get 18 sales. And let's say your AOV is $75. That means you just made $1,300 off of a $150 campaign cost, right? So obviously it doesn't include cost of goods, your shipping, fulfillment rates, etc. Your return on investment right there is a 9x. That's very, very good. So we can see we got a great return on our campaign costs. So we see what type of ROI we could get. I want to go over a couple of tips I can give you right now on how to maximize your ROI. So one, you want to segment your list. You want to be sending to engaged subscribers. When you're first starting off, I encourage you to send to everybody. Then when your list gets to about 5,000, 10,000, this is when you can start segmenting. So sending to engaged subscribers, meaning anybody who's maybe clicked the link before, anybody who's subscribed within the last 30 to 60 to 90 days. And you can also target by their purchase history. Number two, you have your message optimization, meaning you want to keep your text under 160 characters. Once you go over 160 characters, this is when they typically charge you for 2 messages. So let's go back here. If I was charged for 2 messages, my campaign cost would be $300, right? Now, let's say we have the same click-through rate, same conversion rate, our ROI will go down. Right. So we want to keep this as high as possible. So what you want to do is typically keep it under 160 characters. You want to use links pretty wisely. This is pretty straightforward. And then you want to avoid any unnecessary images. So what I'm going to teach you later on in this video is how to use powerful copy to convert. You don't always need to put some new images, but images work well when you have like a new collection or if you have a GIF that makes sense. So just avoid unnecessary images. And then your timing is super important. You want to test out different send times. You don't want to be sending to your audience while they're sleeping. You don't want to send it out too early. You don't want to send it out too late because, like I said, if 98% of people are reading it, your chances are going to go down if you're sending out campaigns at 3 in the morning. So just test out different send times because just depending on who your audience is, some people might be at work. So sending the campaign out at 6 p.m. makes sense, while others, it might make sense for you to send out campaigns at lunchtime, 10 a.m. Just constantly test out different times. You also want to coordinate with your email campaigns. So if we're doing a new drop, it would be wise for you to send out a campaign for the new drop on emails as well as SMS platforms, right? So for those who you don't capture on the email marketing, you can make sure you follow up with a SMS campaign or send out the SMS campaign first and then follow up with an email. This is all about testing. And you want to space out the messages properly. You want to make sure your copy is readable. It's not too much when they look at it. Just space it out properly, and this will also go under the keeping your text under 160 characters. So now that you do understand the cost and ROI, let's go ahead and get into the platforms that you could choose. When it comes to SMS marketing platforms, there are plenty of options to choose from. A common question I get all the time is, which platform should I use? Let's break it down so you can decide what works best for your brand. I want you to think of SMS platforms like cars. Each one is built different for a different type of driver. For example, Attentive is like a luxury car. It's one of the top tier platforms, usually trusted by big brands, has advanced automations, deep analytics, and they have a great customer support team. So if you're running a large business, I would say like with a solid list of like 10,000 users or more, this is a great choice. However, keep in mind that you don't need to necessarily start here. You can always grow into it. Then you have Klaviyo. It's perfect if you already use it for your email, right? The biggest advantage is having your email and SMS marketing in one central location. That means all your data, your campaigns sync together, and it just makes everything more efficient. Then you have SMS Bump, which is a part of Yotpo. It's ideally, I would say, is for beginners, super user-friendly, and it's a great starting point if you're very new to SMS marketing. And then you have OneText. OneText is a up and coming platform, very modern interface. I really like it from what I've seen. They focus on making SMS marketing easier, right? And a little bit more innovative. Kind of gives you a good idea of where the SMS marketing industry is headed. So one important thing to remember, you don't have to always stay locked into these one platforms forever. It's pretty simple to migrate your list to a new platform if you want to test one out and you don't like it. I know I've started a lot of brands off with SMS Bump and eventually got them over to Attentive or PostScript as we started to grow. But I want to show you exactly why I personally chose PostScript for this video. So let's go ahead and get into it. Awesome. So we're on the PostScript website. Let's get into why I chose PostScript for this video. I simply think PostScript is a great platform to get started on. All of these platforms share similar features, very user-friendly, great for list growth, and they offer solid automation tools. But for this video, I'm focusing on PostScript because, like I said, I just think it's a great option for brands looking to scale their SMS marketing. So we're going to go ahead and get into how to set up PostScript the right way. All right, boom. So let me show you exactly how to set up PostScript step by step. I'm using a demo store here, so there's not too much data being shown, but the process is exactly the same for your store. So you want to get to your Shopify dashboard, and you can simply just go into the search bar, and we're going to type in PostScript. And I'm going to go ahead and click into it, and I am going to hit install. All right, so you should be able to see a screen like this. We're going to go ahead and click login or create your account. Now, this part is very straightforward, but we're going to go ahead and walk through it. So you have your welcome to PostScript screen, right? So here's where you want to put in your information. All right. So next we're at the TCPA compliant video screen. Go ahead and watch this video when you get a chance. It's super important to make sure you stay compliant with SMS marketing because there is a lot of legality behind it, but it's very simple to stay compliant. So just take a look at this video and do some research on your own. And when you're done, go ahead and click into this. Now, this is a super important step. What you need to do is update your shop's terms of services. Very simple. What you're going to do is just copy this into the clipboard, and you can click on this button right here, update your shop's terms of service, and you'll simply just add it to the terms of service here, right? So I'll go ahead and add it just anywhere for now. Save, all right? So now that I've done that, I went ahead and check this box off. Let's go into the next screen. You're going to do the same for privacy policy. And on this screen, you want to go ahead and hit continue. Now, this screen is where you want to update your branding. So here's where you will update your logo image, shop name, background color, text color, button color. I'm going to keep it very default for the sake of this video. So we're going to talk a little bit more about how to grow your list. But what you want to do here is just go ahead and create a keyword that makes sense for your brand. And this is going to be a keyword that people can text to your phone that's assigned to you to simply just sign up to your list, right? Here, they'll sign up for just by default. Here, they'll get 10% off. So I'll keep it like this just for the sake of this video. And then on this screen, here you're able to pretty much turn on the default automations that PostScript provides. Now, I think this is fine just for you to turn it on. Later in this video, I'll show you how to set up your automations. All right. As well as this screen is going to provide you a mobile pop-up as well as a desktop pop-up as well as checkout page. So what we've done already is done 5 different ways on how to collect subscribers. I'll keep it default for now, but I'll show you how to update these later on. And there you have it, guys. So we're officially into PostScript. As you can see at the top, they have provided you a $1,000 credit. So make sure you go ahead and visit the billing overview just to see what you get with that. We're going to have to complete the billing setup. So you're pretty much just going to have to approve this on Shopify, meaning PostScript is allowed to charge you. And your toll-free number is being submitted for verification, right? This is very simple. PostScript does a lot of the work for you, a lot of the heavy lifting. So if this is on my store, I'm pretty much able to start collecting subscribers as well as make money off of my subscribers. Now, if you have a customer list prior to this, what you could do is reach out to PostScript. They have a very fast, responsive team, and just tell them you have a list that you've got from, what other platform you use. And what they will do is provide you a link that allows you to upload your existing customer list, and you can pick up where you left off at. So I want to quickly walk you through the PostScript dashboard. As you can see here, like I said, PostScript does a lot of the work for you. So you can see my sync is finished, meaning that customer data as well as order data has been synced to PostScript, and we're pretty much good to start creating campaigns and move forward with our SMS marketing journey. So here we have our dashboard. As you can see, you'll be able to see how much you've earned just from PostScript, how many subscribers you currently have. Unsubscribe rate, obviously this is at 000 because we just created this account. But later on, you'll be able to see your LTV, so meaning your subscribers' lifetime value, how much have they spent with you on average. You have your acquisition rate, so how much have I spent to acquire these subscribers. Messages per subscriber, so how many messages am I sending out per subscriber on average. Revenue per message, so how much money am I making per message we send out. You can also see the performance of your automations, performance of your campaigns, and more information on your subscribers, right? So this is just on your dashboard. This is plenty of information you need to see how your SMS marketing is performing. So we'll go ahead and get into messaging real quick. Here's where you're able to send out campaigns, right? So we'll get a little bit more into this. So you have your campaign flows, which allows you a little bit more autonomy, allows you to do more on your own. Campaigns are very straightforward, right? So if I wanted to create a campaign real quick, I would just come here and create campaign. So let's do create a standard campaign. They'll give you templates to work off of. I'll go ahead and work off of this one right here, promotion. Here you can name your campaign. So I typically like to put my initials, and then I'll put like the date. Today is the 8th, 08/25. The product I'm actually promoting and who I'm targeting, right? So I'm targeting everyone on this one. Here's your segment where you'll be able to choose. Most of the times you're going to start off with all US, Canada customers and subscribers, right? You can do international included if you want. I'm just going to do US and Canada for now. Here's where it will update if I actually had subscribers for this store, and then I would just put example link here. So this is where I would send those people. So something super important here, you have this number down here. So you have 185, you have 153, and then you have 2 SMS. So let me break down what these numbers mean really quick. So 185 is telling you how many characters you have in total on this message. Now let's go back. I told you we have 160 characters before we're charged for a double message, right? Right now we would be charged for 2 messages. So ideally what you want to do is cut this short. Now let's just say I'm not going to look at it. I'll cut that short. We see how it adjusted. Now I have 149 characters out of the 160 characters, and I'm only being charged for 1 message. Now let's go into different things as well too, as far as adding an image and see how the price changes. So image or GIF, let's throw one up there. Let's do a picture of me in there. So one thing you need to do is make sure that the file is 500 kilobytes or less. Let me see if I can find one real quick. This one works. I don't even know what this is. Now let's say I wanted to send that text message out. I'm now being charged for an MMS, right? So I'm going to be charged more than I would with a text only campaign. Now I'll go ahead and exit out of this MMS media and get back to the regular SMS, right? So you see how it changes. Now let me show you what happens if you add an emoji. So let's just add this simple smiley emoji. Mind you, we're at 149 characters right now out of 160, being charged for only one SMS. So I added this emoji and we can see I'm now being charged for 3 SMSs and I'm 143 characters in. So you may ask yourself, why did I get charged for 3 messages versus 1 message? Emojis are considered a heavy character, right? So this now is being charged for 3 SMSs, and now your return on investment is a lot lower than it would be if you just use a text message only. So that's why I typically stick to 1 SMS text only text, right? And I just use very strong copy that converts my words into sales. So emojis are not necessary, but it does do a good job at capturing people's attention. So later on in the video, I will show you how to capture people's attention with a short message, right? So I'll go ahead and X out of that. So let's go ahead and put a link into here. So if I wanted to send myself a test message to my phone to see what it would look like, I would just go ahead and plug in my number right here and press send. And then within a minute or 2, you should get a test message. And this should give you an idea of what it looks like when a customer receives your text. Now say this is the exact text I will want to send out. I know I'm getting charged for 2 messages. So let's go ahead and just cut something out for the sake of this video. I'm now being charged only 1 message. So as we can see here, I have a text message right here. And what PostScript does a great job at doing is shortening your link. So I put this website link in, and now we can see how it will appear on other people's phones. So say this was the text message I wanted to send out. Let's go ahead and save and continue to preview. And what it's going to do is calculate the calls for me and saying check back later, but I know this is only 1 message, right? So I had the option to either schedule a campaign. I typically do this, right? So say if I wanted to send this out at 12 p.m., I would choose today, and then I will go ahead and just plug that in PM, right? Save schedule, and now it's scheduled to send out. I'm going to delete this schedule because I don't want any text going out, but I can also send this campaign out immediately too as well. And typically it gives you like a couple of minutes to buffer. So if you had any changes, you can go ahead and just cancel it. But that's simply how you send out a campaign. Most of the time for beginners, you're going to go ahead and just start off in a campaign rather than campaign flows. So I'm not going to get into campaign flows today, but it's very similar to what I just did for campaigns. What I typically do for campaign flows works well for me because I'm able to exclude and include audiences. So I do a lot of my segmenting here in the campaign flows. With that being said, let's go ahead and get straight into automations. So we have the same automation flows as well as the legacy automations. So if you remember when we first set up PostScript, they had our legacy flows already. So these are already active. So let's just go ahead and click into them, and we can see how we can adjust those. So let's go into the welcome series. So here is going to show you all the automation messages you have set up within your welcome series. It'll show you how much revenue you made from them, total orders, total clicks, and sent messages. Obviously, these are all on 0 because this is not an active account. But let's see our first message that people will send. Here's the first message that people will receive from us when they sign up to our SMS list. You have your welcome to shop, VIP family, so glad you're here, emoji, 10% off coupon. So this is considered heavy. So let's just go ahead and edit one just so I can make it more cost effective for myself. So immediately I'm going to just go ahead and get rid of this MMS media. As we can see here, this is what I'm being charged for. So let's go ahead and just click out of it. And now we can see I'm being charged for 4 messages now. That's pretty heavy. So ideally, I'm just going to erase all the emojis, and we'll see how the price is affected just off of that alone. Down to 2. And ideally, you would just go ahead and make a shorter message right here. So let's say everything was perfect. We can see I'm now only being charged for 1 message. So this is what I would do. Go ahead and just update everything. But what it is showing here for wait, meaning when they sign up to my list, the message will be sent out 90 minutes after they sign up, right? Most of the times I'll go ahead and just make this almost like immediately. So here we can see our second message within the welcome series is going to be a day after. You can adjust this however you see fit. And then you have your third message that's being sent out 4 days after, right? So as you can see, the copy changes up a little bit. Don't forget about your coupon on the second message. And then the third message is time is running out. So they're adding a little bit more urgency. So let's go ahead and exit out of here real quick. And that shows you a little bit about automations. You see that they make it easy for you to set up your legacy automations. I would just go ahead and go in there and kind of personalize it for my brand. So let's go ahead and get into segments really quick. Here's going to be the different segments that PostScript provides you automatically. You have, for example, all of your customer lists. You have customers you texted more than once, customers with one purchase, customers who've purchased in the last 30 days. There's all types of segments. You can also go in here and create your own segment. Fairly simple. I'll go ahead and just create one of people who have ordered 5 or more times, right? I would simply just say this segment, and that is my custom segment that I can make, and I can send out personal campaigns to them. So for example, I would send them a message like with the language implying that you're some of our best customers and we're offering you a VIP discount. And that's that for segment. That's a quick rundown on segments. And we could go ahead and get into responses. Because PostScript is two-way, you'll be able to see if anybody was to respond to your text message. Now, this is mostly for customer service. So you are able to set up a automatic reply that, you can direct people towards your customer service email. Now, I want to quickly run down how to acquire your subscribers and grow your list. So we know we created our default desktop pop-up as well as our mobile pop-up when we first started. You have your pop-ups here, right? So these are other pop-ups that you could create that are not necessarily the legacy pop-ups that you created initially. You have your keywords. This is the keywords we made it earlier. You can actually create more keywords. For example, you can create a VIP keyword, or you could create a keyword based off of your brand's name and maybe put that in your Instagram bio and say, text this keyword to this number to get this incentive, right? And we have different list growth tools on the side. So you have the text to opt in, very similar to what I just talked about. You can convert with your email list. So if you already have an email list and you're sending out emails pretty often, you can add a widget at the bottom of your emails that says, click here to sign up to our exclusive text message list, right? And it will just be a link that it pretty much allows them to sign up via your email list. You can also do different links. For example, on your Instagram story, if you have a collection you're about to drop, you can say, sign up here using this link, click here to sign up, right? And they'll be able to provide you a link and it'll take you directly to a, like a landing page / pop-up that it allows them to sign up. And then you have your QR codes. Very important. I know a lot of clothing brands do a lot of pop-up shops, or they might be at physical stores, or you can even add QR codes to your packaging, allowing people to scan to be able to sign up. This is very big because when you're at pop-up shops, not everybody stops and shop, but you can provide some type of incentive and you can pretty much collect subscribers, allowing them to purchase later on, right? So a lot of those people that are just walking, they might not be interested in purchasing at the moment, but with this QR code, you can kind of build that connection with them down the road and they can eventually shop. All right, guys, I want to quickly break down pop-ups. Right? These are super important. This is going to be like the number one way that you collect and grow your SMS list. And I just want to emphasize how important your mobile pop-up is, right? Just for any advice when you're running an e-commerce brand, 95% of the people of your visitors are going to be coming for mobile. So you want to make sure everything is optimized for mobile. So let's just go into default mobile pop-up so I can show you how to set this one up. As you can see, this is live already on my website, but we're going to go ahead and get into here and edit it. So we can see right now it's unlocked 10% off your order. What is your phone number? Sign up now. I think this is great. This is good. This is good to go, right? This is good to go off the rip. Let's go ahead and make a couple of changes, right? So what I'm going to do is just, if I wanted to change up the copy, I'm just going to put enjoy, and I wanted to give them a bigger incentive. So typically you want to provide them some type of incentive. We want to give them something before we receive something from them, right? Everybody's not just going to give out their phone number very willingly. So we must give them some type of incentive to give us their information. So I'm just going to say enjoy 15% off. I'm going to say on your first order. And I'm actually going to change this to continue, right? And let's say I don't want a subtext, and let's say I don't want a close button text as well too. Now I'm going to take it a step further, and I'm going to collect phone numbers as well as emails, right? As we can see here, it's going to be collecting their email as well too. And I'm going to even go a little bit further, and I'm actually going to collect emails first, but feel free to do whatever you want. This is just for the sake of this video. Let's see. I want to change this button color to black, right? If you had an image you wanted to upload, feel free to upload it here, and it's just going to pop up right here. Make it a little bit more branded. Feel free to change the color of the background. I'm going to keep it very simple for the sake of this video. But what I'm going to go into is, this is a super important step right here. We're going to go into behavior. Now, behavior is going to pretty much tell the pop-up how it needs to perform. So Here we have the option to either collect phone number first or we could collect the phone number last. Feel free to do whatever is easier for you. I typically think it's easier for us to receive emails than people to give us their phone numbers. So I'm just going to collect the email first, right? Pop-up trigger, is there any time delay? Sure. I'm going to click time delay. My sweet spot typically is around anywhere from 6 seconds to 8 seconds. So I'll do 8 seconds, meaning the visitor has to be on my website for at least 8 seconds before this pops up. Is there any pages I want to include this on? Yes. Is there any pages I want to exclude this on? I'm going to say cart. I'm going to say checkout. And there's a few more, but this is perfect for now. And we have our subscriber status. Who do we want to show this to? Now our options are show to known subscribers and unknown visitors, only to known subscribers, or show only to unknown visitors. Now, because I'm looking to acquire subscribers with this pop-up form, I'm going to do unknown visitors, meaning it's only going to show to people who are not a part of my list. I don't want to annoy my customers who are already on my list and disrupt their shopping pattern when they get on the website. So the new subscriber success message, existing subscriber success message. So that is pretty much all you need to do is set up. Sorry, one more thing is this is the welcome message that they'll get. And I would just go ahead and adjust it just how I did the first one, is just so I can make this more cost effective. You know, getting rid of the MMS, and yeah, it's under 160 characters, so we're good to go. So I quickly just showed you how to set up your pop-up. I would test out different copy. I would test out different percentages. Does this percentage off make sense for your brand, for your profit margins? And even if you're giving them a big incentive, it's probably going to incentivize them to shop immediately, and you now have them on your list, so you'll be able to market to them whenever you want. And that's quickly how to grow your list and your acquisition right there. I showed you how to do it, how to set up your mobile pop-up. Do the same for your desktop, right? So the great thing about PostScript is that they have easy integrations. For example, if you use MailChimp or if you use Klaviyo, OmniSend for your email marketing, you can easily integrate these platforms with PostScript, right? So remember, I just created that pop-up and I had the email form as well as the phone number form. So what happens when somebody subscribes to my mobile pop-up, my welcome flow is going to fire off here on PostScript. So they'll get a welcome message to their phone, and with the integration to Klaviyo, it's actually going to fire off the welcome series flow over on their email. So they'll be able to receive a initial email to the welcome series on their phone as well as their email. So you would just come here and just whichever platform you want to integrate with, very simple to set up. You just need to set up like an API key. So I would just go over to Klaviyo, grab the API key, click it here, install, see which forms I want to use, and then which lists and segments I want to use. Very simple. Now that you know how to set up your automations, once your automations are running, you'll want to track the performance by looking at the open rates, by looking at the click-through rates, see if people are engaging, the conversion rates, or your automations actually leading to sales. And then you want to test out different messages to pretty much improve your results. So with these insights, you can now fine tune your automations to get the best results as possible. And there you have it, guys. PostScript is now set up and ready to go. I showed you how to start building your SMS list, how to set up your first automations, campaigns, and how to go over your analytics. One quick note, I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. I know this seems like a lot. You can always come back to this video, and a PostScript's support team is super helpful if you ever get stuck. Let's get into one of the best parts of this video, which is automations. I'm going to quickly show you why automations matter and the importance of setting up your automations, right? So imagine having a sales team that works 24/7. They never sleep and they always send a message at the perfect time. That's exactly what SMS automations do for your brand. Think of automations like your employees that are assigned to different tasks to pretty much complete sales while you sleep. So once they're set up once, they're pretty much on autopilot. Obviously, you could go in and optimize how you feel you need to, but I want to show you this one method I use to pretty much explain automation just for the people who might still be a little bit more confused. So here's a fun way to think about text marketing, right? It's like a tiny Walmart ecosystem. So let's think about what happens when you go to Walmart. When you go to Walmart, there's somebody at the door that typically greets you. Think of that as your welcome text. Now, say if you were walking in for Walmart for a couple of items and the person at the door greets you and provides you a 10% off discount code. You already had the intention as a customer to purchase, but now that you have an incentive, you have even more incentive to purchase, right? So think of that as your welcome text. You now have a 10% off code that you're walking around with while you're shopping. And then you have the people that, when you're looking confused, you have those people that help you find what you need. Think of that as a product recommendation text. So that can be an automation. That can also be a one-time campaign, just depending on how you say it and what you're saying. Let's say if you find the items you're looking for and you added it to your cart, and you're kind of just walking around, and for some reason you decide to walk away from your cart. Now, say if an employee came up to you and reminded you about your cart, say, hey, I saw you leave your cart over there. Is there anything I can help you with? Or do you need a bigger discount? Their job is to make sure you grab that cart again and go to the checkout line. Think of that as your abandoned cart text, right? Now, let's say you purchase, think of your receipt as your order confirmation. So you're just confirming what you ordered, right? Think of that as your order confirmation text. And then let's say you go you go home, do what you do. Then all of a sudden you get somebody 20 days later knocking on your doors. Hey, this is the Walmart employee, and I wanted to check to see if you really like the product. I think these other products right here will go well with the product that you purchased 20 days ago. That would be like your customer follow-up, customer retention, upsell text, right? We're going to do the exact same thing, but this is going to happen automatically through text. So I want to walk you through some real automation flows that have generated some solid sales for me. By setting up these flows, you'll be able to increase your conversions and maximize your revenue without doing any extra work. So let's just go ahead and get into a few welcome series text messages that I have set up for one of these brands. So we can see this revenue has done 4,400 in sales, nearly 70 sales orders. So that's a 20% conversion rate. I'm making about 80 cents per message sent, right? So if you pull that up, earning per message, calculated by total earnings divided by the number of messages sent from the automation. Total clicks. So the click-through rate is around 6%. That's about average. And the total messages sent, right? So 2,300 unique subscribers have gone into this, and I've sent them 5,700 messages. So on average, they're getting about 2 or 3 messages. With a 2.3% unsubscribe rate, solid numbers. You're always going to have people that unsubscribe. I wouldn't worry too much about unsubscribe rates. So the first message is going to be this right here. You're in. I'm happy you're new here. I added an emoji because already making a pretty solid amount. This is very profitable for me. So it doesn't matter if I put an emoji or not. I'll be charged more, obviously, but I'm fine with the return. Use welcome 10. So I'm giving them 10% off incentive for 10% off your first order. Start shopping now. Then I send them to my collections page. So we can see how much this has earned for me. So out of 4,400, this has made 3,300, right? The second follow-up message is going to be your 10% off code is still waiting. So I'm adding a little bit of urgency. Use the code to grab your phase before it's too late, right? So I'm adding a little bit of urgency and scarcity. We can see who this has been sent to. Anybody who's purchased using this SMS message is not going to get these second and third texts. So the total earned is not that much, meaning I probably need to go into here and change up the copy, maybe change up the timing, different factors I need to consider. And then on the 4th day, I'm sending thousands are already rocking their Y'all Need Jesus gear. Be part of the movement. Use welcome 10 for 10% off. And what this is, copy is pretty much just giving them social proof. So customers don't want to be the first person to purchase from you. So I'm simply just giving them some information that, thousands of people are already rocking with our brand. But yeah, this is just one of the series I've set up right there. So now that you have your automations running, let's talk a little bit more about campaigns. So unlike automations, which are triggered by customer actions, campaigns are going to be a one-time message that you send to drive traffic and eventually boost sales. So I know you probably see a lot of brand owners who post their, results after a big drop. And a lot of this is attributed by the one-time campaign messages, right? So they were able to successfully build up prior to their drop, and then they send out the one-time campaign to notify their customers that the drop is available with some type of urgency or scarcity, and the customers shop. And a lot of it comes down to these one-time messages that they're sending, right? So campaigns help you with promote new product drops, announce flash sales, engage with your audience during like seasonal events or trending events, and also re-engage inactive subscribers. Campaigns give you full control over when and how you communicate with your customers. So let's go into a couple of the campaign types. You have your product drop alerts. So ideally a campaign at its very foundation would look like this, which is saying new drops just landed, shop now before it sells out with the link. You have your flash sales, for example, 24 hours only, get 20% off site-wide, tap here. You have your restock notifications, back in stock, don't miss out again, and seasonal promotions as well for like Black Friday, Christmas, Valentine's Day. For example, holiday deals just for VIPs. Tap to claim your exclusive offer here. To make your SMS campaigns as effective as possible, you need to be able to track key performance metrics so you're able to optimize. So here are the metrics I choose. Right, you have your open rates. So how many people are actually opening up your text? This is not really tracked because we know SMS typically gets over 98% open rates, right? But importantly, you have the click-through rate, which tells you how many people are actually clicking your link. So if you're sending out to 10,000, how many of those people are actually clicking the link, right? So strong CTR means your message is actually moving them to do something. You have your conversion rates, which is the ultimate goal, right? We want people to actually take action. So this is showing you how many people are actually taking action, whether it's making a purchase, signing up, or simply responding, right? Now, we want to talk a little bit more about A/B testing, which is one of my favorite words, testing. To get the best results, you're not going to send the same message every single time. You have to test different elements out to see what works best. For example, the message content, try switching up the words, switch up the tone, the length. Does a short direct message work better, or adding some type of personalization, does that drive more action? Test out images versus no images. The text only versus the MMS. So the messages with a image or GIF to see if, having something visual for customers to see, that improves conversion. You have your send times. We talked a little bit about this earlier. Experiment with different times of the day. Do your customers respond better in the morning, during lunch breaks, or in the evening? And most importantly, you need to try different call to actions. Shop now is very standard. It can be considered boring and basic, but it works, right? Does shop now work better than claim your discount? Try it here, try it for yourself. Just by tracking these different metrics and doing all these different A/B testing elements, you'll be able to figure out a strategy that works best for your brand, right? Let's talk a little bit about seasonal planning and being on top of trending events, right? So if you want to make sure your SMS campaigns hit at the right time, you have to plan ahead for big shopping seasons, right? So I'll provide you a few key dates you need to plan for. 1, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Self-explainable, but it is the biggest shopping weekend of the year. Here's a side note of things you could be doing prior to Black Friday. It's building up your list, segmenting your list, but you want to build up your list with the right engaged audience so you can perform your best at Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Next, you have Valentine's Day, you have summer sales, you have back to school, you have Thanksgiving. Pretty much any holiday could be turned into an opportunity to sell, right? Just by staying ahead, you can plan your messages early and be ready when people are actively shopping. But it's not always just about the seasons. Trends can boost your sales too. So if something is going viral on social media, you can always incorporate that into your campaign as long as it fits into your brand. For example, off the top of my head, I could think of recently we had the very mindful, very demure. If that aligned with your brand somehow, you might be able to throw it in there and people will be, feel some type of way about it. So if a phrase is pretty much everywhere, flip it into some fun type of promo message. Hit songs, you can do that with like catchy lyric. For example, Jello song, I Might Swerve. Somehow, if you can incorporate that and flip that into your brand and it makes sense, that will help with your click-through rate. You also got your cultural moments where as if an event everyone is talking to. So for this weekend, Super Bowl is about to happen. Something I know that works pretty well. If you wanted to shoot a message prior to the Super Bowl and it being Super Bowl football related, if you could somehow flip that into your brand and do some type of promo, that would be awesome. Otherwise, I've seen brands go as far as sending a text message at halftime, right? Or sending a text message during a commercial break. So we know everybody's going to be on their phones. We know everybody's paying attention and being marketed to. So why not get creative and send a text message out at that same time too as well? So I'm saying all that to say, if you catch them at the right time, you're for sure to boost your engagement and hopefully boost your sales. And this pretty much just gives you a way to stay one step ahead in your marketing. So now that you understand campaigns and automations a little bit more, you're set up to make a lot of money with your SMS marketing. But what I'm about to show you is super important. I'm going to teach you how to turn your words into money. So let's move on to the copywriting techniques that's going to make your text even more effective. So definitely one of my favorite parts. Let's get into SMS copywriting. This is a good one, so make sure you're taking notes. I wrote down here, good copy isn't just writing, it's persuasion. So the right message at the right time can turn a subscriber into a loyal customer. And in this section, I'll be breaking down pretty much how to write an SMS message that converts. So let's get into the power of words. So there's a famous quote that says, people don't buy products, they buy better versions of themselves. And that right there is the power of copywriting, right? So that's very vague, but this applies really well for clothing brands, supplement brands, health and wellness, beauty brands. It really doesn't matter. Copy is super important. So the words you use should make people feel something, whether it's excitement, urgency, or even like the fear of missing out. Now let's take a step back and just think about who we text in our daily lives, right? It's typically our friends, our family, or people that we actually trust. And that's exactly how you should be approaching SMS marketing, right? right? Your brand's voice and your brand's message shouldn't sound robotic and salesy and chat GPT-ish. It should feel like when they get a text message, it should feel like it's coming from one of their trusted friends. So when you make your text feel super personal, people are more likely to open them, read them, and actually act on them. So instead of sounding like a business wrote it, it's like you're trying to sell them something, right? Like you're talking to someone you actually care about. Long story short, your copy needs to be short, clear, and persuasive to get you more sales. All right, so we live in a scrolling world, meaning people's attention spans are shorter than ever. That's why your texts need to grab people's attention instantly. If your first few words don't hook the reader, they're pretty much just going to ignore it. That's why your first sentence matters pretty much the most out of your entire campaign. So you need to either make it urgent, exciting, or time sensitive. So I put here, right here, urgency as in we only have a few left, or there's only 100 available, or there's only 20 available. They need to feel some type of urgency, right? They don't need to feel like they could just shop whenever. Excitement. So at the very foundation, it needs to be your VIP deal is inside, and time sensitive, 12 hours, right? So urgency, scarcity, time sensitive, it kind of goes all into one, right? Now, most importantly, I want to get into how your hook should be set up, right? So the first thing they see, that might be the only thing they see, is the hook. So the first few words either make or break the sale. And let's just talk a little bit about what your hook needs to consist of, right? So you're either want to promote curiosity, scarcity, urgency, or personalization. For curiosity, is you won't believe this deal, right? Customer sees that and they need to see if they won't believe it or not, right? So they're interested in reading more. You have scarcity, only 3 left in stock. Urgency, this disappears in 24 hours. And personalization, hey, so-and-so, this is just for you. And that's not the only thing as far as personalization. Personalization goes into product recommendations based off of what they purchased recently. So if you're selling them a hoodie, you can say something like, hey, I know you're interested in hoodies, right? In your language. So that's personalization as well. Now, I really want to get into these. This is like where the real sauce is right here. We're calling it heart-wrenching hooks, right? It's pretty much moving them. It's evoking some type of emotion, right? Some hooks are extreme and can grab attention super instantly, but you have to be careful when using these heart-wrenching hooks because they can backfire. They can upset customers if used irresponsibly, and these hooks should definitely be tested carefully, right? And only use it in the right context. For example, our hook can say, someone might get fired for this. If somebody sends me that, I automatically want to see what the rest of the text says, right? This one's pretty big. We tested out with a big brand recently for April Fools, right? So going back to the context, your debit card has been charged $600. That right there is instantly going to have somebody, their heart's going to drop. They might be sweating. We just evoke some type of emotion. What's crazy is we end up just saying later on in the text, this is April Fools, or like use the code April Fools. And this performed very, very well, right? But just be careful because we don't want to piss people off because people were pissed off, but then they end up laughing about it. We got some more. We need to talk about your account, important, security alert. All of these are going to evoke some type of emotion. These are not the only hooks you can do. Fashion Nova does a very good job at creating copy like this that's going to get people interested in that first, like it's going to hook people in and want them to read the rest, right? But just be careful, right? Because the hooks, they do demand attention, but if you don't use them correctly, customers are obviously going to get frustrated. Just a good rule of thumb is if it feels misleading, don't send it. Now let's talk a little bit more about the psychology behind your copy. So the best SMS marketers understand that consumer psychology is very important when writing out this copy. So a few things, like I said before, you want them to feel FOMO, urgency, exclusivity, and personalization. Let's take account a few factors when you're actually creating this, your copy. Character count. We already talked about this, but because these SMS messages are free, you have to choose your characters wisely, right? So standard SMS is 160 characters. If you go over that, you're charged for multiple messages. We talked about, what that does to your ROI. So if you are a few characters over, try to find a different word, try to replace a word, try to decrease a word, try to substitute a word, say it a different way. Just make your adjustments, right? Obviously, adding emojis and special characters, that's going to increase the cost as well. And then your images. They're much more expensive than regular text. And I just want to quickly compare the ROI from earlier in the script just to give you an idea of what this looks like. So let's look at the campaign again, right? So 10,000 subscribers, costs at 1 cent each, 1.5 cents each. Total cost is $150. The click rate is 6%, meaning we get 600 clicks out of this 10,000 list, and the conversion rate is 3%. Sales is 18. We get 18 sales from this at an AOV of $75. That's $1,300 in revenue. Cost can be $150, and the ROI can be 9x, right? So 900% return on investment. Now let's go into S to MMS, right? If I was to add a image and had similar performance, right? Total cost is now $450, right? Because we're getting charged 4.5 cents. Now let's say that even the click rate increased a little bit, right, to 8%, and that means we're getting 800 clicks now, which is good. Conversion rate, say it goes up to 4%, right, and we end up getting 32 sales with the same AOV. Revenue is now 2,400 versus the cost of 450, and the ROI is 5.3x, meaning 500%. So as we got more clicks, we noticed that the ROI is not as great. Got more revenue, that's great too as well. So it just varies. I just wanted to show you different scenarios. Now let's go into a different scenario with MMS, or we can even replace this with emojis, right? Say if we send it to 10,000 people, cost is 450. Let's say it improved the click rate to 10%, meaning 1,000 people now clicked. Great. Conversion rate went up to 5%. You now have 50 sales, and then you got your revenue at 3,700, cost 450, and the ROI. So it goes to show you that yes, MMS and adding emojis can be a factor in increasing click rate, conversion rate, things of that nature. You just want to know what your ROI is because you're getting more revenue, and this could be more profit for you too here. You just got to do what works best for your brand. So now you're ready to start turning your words into sales. In this next section, we'll be going over how to find inspiration for your campaigns, as well as your automation, as well as your pop-ups, right? So let's go ahead and get straight into it. So I've given you a lot of information so far. I know it might seem overwhelming. If you're not a copy master, do not worry. I'm going to show you a couple of shortcuts so you can get to success a lot faster with your SMS marketing, right? So not everyone is a copywriting expert, and that's totally fine. I had this simple trick that's going to help you find inspiration and craft high converting messages, even if you don't consider yourself a great writer. So let's talk about why inspiration actually matters. Coming up with a new engaging text message can be very tough. Even I struggle at it, right? That's why looking at what's already working can give you shortcuts and to great ideas. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just want to learn from the best and apply it to your brand. So let's start off with this website right here. It's called Text We Love. This is brought to you from Attentive, the SMS marketing platform. And as you can see here, up here, it says, discover how the best brands are use exclusive access, right? So what we could do is to go in here and we can literally see welcome series. We can see campaign examples. We can see pop-up examples. So this is very, very helpful right here. What it does is pretty much collect some of the best performing SMS campaigns, pop-ups from brands that actually use Attentive. And we could just go through here and see real examples and see styles that they use, strategies, and see how we can apply them to our own brand. So let's go ahead and just get into a few things. So you can see right here, you have a campaign, you have a welcome message. You can see that they're using MMS. So you can see big brands are actually using MMS, and that's great for them. These are like resorts. So it's not necessarily all e-commerce brands, but there's plenty of information in here. So you should be able to find something. So let's go ahead to this left side and go into verticals. And we are going to choose, let's find apparel. And let's see if we can find a category. So I want to find a product launch SMS campaign. So we can see a lot of these brands are actually using GIFs, which is very dope, especially for apparel brands, because you want to see, customers want to see what they're getting, right? So before they even go to the website, it's great to give them some type of preview. Awesome. Let's look at this text message right here. New. That's a great hook. Our latest collection. Let's go back to the copy as far as talking about making stuff readable. So just is, they put it in asterisks so they can kind of emphasize that word so it disrupts your pattern while you're reading it. And then a short call to action, shop all new spring styles here with the link. Great. Let's go into this one right here. Let's see. Let's go into represent. They're pretty much telling you the collection that they dropped. Limited time only, so they're adding some type of urgency to it. Don't wait. Very, very simple right there. So guys, you could go in different categories. You can see their Black Friday campaigns. So this right here is a abandoned cart. We saw you checking us out. Come back and grab. So this is a browse abandonment type of message. Super, super dope, guys. If you want to take SMS marketing serious, you definitely want to get into this website. Get inspiration from all types of things. So I'll show you another one as well too. Let's go into, I'll get out of this category. Let's get into a sign up flow. So we can even get inspiration on our pop-ups. So I made a very basic mobile pop-up, but here you can make a little bit more detailed one, get some inspiration, see what you really like, and apply it to your own brand. Very simple. I really like this one right here. Shop that sale early, 20% off, 4th of July. So this is seasonal. They're giving a big incentive, and their call to action is to get 20% off now. So let's take a look at another great resource, which is called Fantastic Text. This is actually brought to you by Postscript. And what they're doing is pretty much just same thing. Brands that actually use Postscript, they are giving you a library to take a look at and see what worked, right? So same thing. We don't have to run through all of it, but same idea. You can look at brands in your niche. You can look at the wording that they're using, the structure, the tone. Just take notes and see what makes them engaging. But ultimately, you want to get into these two because they're giving you a library of content and SMS marketing campaigns, pop-ups, and automations that actually work from brands that are actually making money. All right, guys, as you can see, I am on the Fashion Nova website right now, and we can see the pop-up right here. It shows scratch to reveal your mystery offer. This is super dope right here. The reason I'm here at Fashion Nova is because they do a very good job with their text message marketing. They're sending out campaigns very often with funny, emotion-evoking copy, and you could just run through the funnel, sign up here, run through the funnel, add something to the cart, don't purchase, see what type of automations they're sending out. But the reason I'm here right here is because this is honestly the best way, in my opinion, to shortcut your learning process to improve your SMS marketing journey instantly, right? Just go into your favorite websites and just sign up yourself. So when you do this, you're getting actually real-time insights into the top brands and see how they're messaging their customers. You can look at their sales campaigns, what holiday offers they're offering, special promotions, inspiration as far as timing, what type of hooks are they using, what type of urgency tactics are they using. Guys, I've signed up to almost 100 brands, and I get text messages every single day with no intent to purchase. I just like to see what they're sending, how they're sending it, who they're targeting, and I take note of it, and I try to apply it to my brands that I work with to my best ability, right? So if you're ever stuck on what's right, inspiration is pretty much everywhere. Whether you're using text we love, fantastic text, or you're just simply signing up for SMS lists yourself, there's plenty of ways to see what's working and adopt it to your brand. So now that we've covered inspiration, let's move on to the best practices and mistakes to avoid so you can make as much money as possible, right? Let's get to it. Now let's talk about something that can make or break your SMS marketing. And that's pretty much how you send your messages, right? So we're going to talk about the best practices and mistakes you can avoid. So let's go over common mistakes and how to avoid them. So one, message overload. Sending too many texts is going to annoy your subscribers. It's going to have a lot of unsubscribe rates. You have to learn how to keep it balanced, right? You don't want to be sending too many messages and you don't want to be sending too less messages, right? So there has to be some type of balance. I typically like to stick to 1 to 2 per week and even going 1 per every 8, 9, 10 days. It just depends on what time of the season it is, what I'm offering, and things of that nature, right? So just make sure you keep it balanced. We got to learn how to target the right audience, right? If I'm sending irrelevant messages, people are going to ignore them. That's a simple rule right there. So you want to learn how to segment your audience for better results. Avoid having a weak call to action. If your call to action isn't clear, people are not going to take action. You also have to remember, you literally have to tell your customer what to do. You could throw out the best SMS copy ever, but if you don't have a call to action, there's a good chance that a lot of people are just going to ignore it and not actually take any action on it. So just make it short, make it direct. For example, tap to claim your deal, tap here to shop, go to the website now, get creative. Timing is everything. Texting at the wrong time, like 3 a.m. is just dumb, right? It's going to piss off customers. So you got to learn how to time your messages when they're most likely to engage, right? And this goes with testing. So just test out the morning text out the lunchtime text, the evening text. Sometimes some platforms allow you to split test the timing. So you can send out the same exact text and half of your subscribers are going to get for example, the morning text and half of the subscribers are going to get the evening text. If you constantly do that, you'll start to figure out which sending times are performing the best. Generic copy. Please don't send generic copy. There's no point of that, right? People are getting dozens of texts per day. Your copy has to stand out. So if your message sounds super boring and robotic, people are going to ignore it. So make it sound conversational. Let's go back to text as if you're texting a friend. Customers, when they receive their message from your brand, they want to be entertained. They want to feel like a loved one sent a message to them. This is a very important one. Check your links. You always got to verify whether your links are actually working. So always send yourself a test and click the link on your phone to make sure the links are working and it's going to the right place you want it to. Because a broken link or the wrong link is just lost sales. We want to collect as many sales as possible. So too many or too few messages, kind of back to what I was saying earlier. We don't want to be spamming our customers, right? And if we don't send it enough, people are just going to forget about our brand, and we're pretty much going to have to start from the beginning, right? Like I said, find the right balance. Super big. And this one, the one I definitely, I need you to remember this one, is to test and analyze. Not testing different message formats and looking at the results. You're not going to be able to improve based on the data. The data is going to tell you everything that you need. So not doing this is just going to limit your success, right? So always test, always optimize based off of what works best. And then last but not least, weak offers, right? If your promotions, your copy is just not compelling, subscribers aren't going to take action, right? So the deals need to create excitement, urgency, right? You don't always have to send out a sale. It could be a new product promotion, whatever it is, it just doesn't need to be weak, right? So if we're sending out 5% text messages during Black Friday, think about a 5% off discount code versus a 50% off discount code during Black Friday. Which brand is the customer most likely to shop with, right? So just make sure your offer is competitive and then make sure it aligns with your brand and your margins. Because at the end of the day, good SMS marketing is all about balance. You have to find how to send out the right message to the right people at the right time. If you get that part right, you'll keep your audience engaged. And instead of hitting the unsubscribe button, they're going to eventually keep shopping with you and become repeat loyal customers. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. So we just covered everything you need to know to start making serious money with SMS marketing. But remember, this information is only as good as what you do with it. So let's go over a few key takeaways. SMS is one of the most powerful tools for driving sales and customer loyalty. You must remember to build your SMS list strategically. Your list is an asset that prints money for you when used right. Set up your automations. This is going to save you time and effort, allowing you to make sales on autopilot. And great copy turns words into real revenue. You always test, tweak, and improve. Also, trends, timing, and execution matter. SMS done right can literally change your business for the better. I've been where you are. Trying to figure this out on my own cost me mad money, cost me mad time. That's why I started a private community where I help brands get their first 100K in revenue. But I only have a few spots left before I close the doors. But now it's time for you to take action. Rewatch the sections that you need, start implementing today, and let's make this the most profitable year you had yet. I need one more favor from you. If you found this video helpful, it would mean the world to me if you subscribe to this channel. This lets me keep making content like this, sharing strategies and helping more brands like yours grow. Plus, you'll be the first to know when I drop new videos. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you don't miss out. I'll see you on the inside.